Good morning. Good morning. Thank everybody for tuning in to Let's Talk About It. Me and Coach Patterson are in the building. We're gonna keep it trucking. Right now, Howard Allen, I don't think will be able to join us this morning because he is at a 7-on-7 tournament that he got called on for today. So we'll figure that out. But Coach Patterson, you know what I'm saying? The topic is, can short people get it done? We ain't gonna hold y'all too long today, but we gonna get this thing, get in, get out, give y'all some good word, and we're gonna keep on trucking.
Hey man, that's a great topic for today, man, and great topic. And with Howard, he last minute thing, man. He found out last minute, and I didn't want to tell him to cancel it. So, just go do what you do.
Hmm.
We'll get him back on at another time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The young man had to, you know what I'm saying? Listen, you know how I get, he has that energy and that fluid in his blood, man. He ready to go out there and play some ball. So man, let's get it done.
Right, right. Hey man, I like the new intro, man.
Yeah, well, I got my guys down in Miami, man. They helping us out with the technical part on the back end. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my guy Travis Ramsey, Action Miami. They doing some stuff. I ain't one of those dudes that do all that extra, man. They the one putting me all in the, but
Yeah,
I, I,
got a Wu Tang throwback feel
oh
to
yeah,
it.
you like that beat though. You know what I'm saying? Because we old school, man. We got old souls in us. Because it's
Right,
about the cream, dollar
that's
dollar
right.
bill, yo. Yes, sir. So, one of the things, before we jump into the topic, we do want to let people know, we're trying to lock down a location for the summer camp, Connect Your Brand. Will be a summer camp, 4 week summer camp that we will host. And the kids will learn how to brand themselves, also learn, the X's and the basic X's and O's is, get it out, Andrew. The basic X's and O's to football from offense, defense, and special teams. And we will also get outside and get some physical training in. It ain't no connect party unless we connected on that field. So, it's gonna be a big thing. It's gonna be 8 to 5. So we'll be able to take some of that burdens off of your parents while your kids are learning some very educational things on how to brand themselves as an athlete. Also, we have our ebook coming from Cream Dollar Dollar Bill, y'all. And I let Coach Mike Patterson talk about that one on the ebook and what cream means. So go ahead, take off, Coach.
All right, so Cream, and it's kind of like a throwback with Wu Tang back in the day. Wu Tang had a song, "Cash Rules Everything Around Me." Well, what I found out over the years, the secret to success is not cash, it's confidence. So confidence rules everything around me. And when I took Cream and started thinking about it, if somebody gave you $100,000 and you lost it, you wouldn't know how to go back and get it again because you didn't earn it. But if you go and you do it yourself, you make that $100,000 yourself, and you lose it, you already got the blueprint and you got the confidence, most of all, to go back and build it again. So the secret to success is confidence rules everything around me. And so that's pretty much what the ebook is going to be about, but it's related to football. So how do
Hmm.
guys get so good at it? How do you go to the NFL? Guys go to college. It's the confidence. You see these young men on Friday night, they building up that confidence. So now when they play on Saturdays, that confidence building up. Then on Sundays, because they put the work in over time, they already got the blueprint in them. Now they're able to shine on the highest stage. So confidence rules everything around me.
Yes, sir. So right now, the ebook will, and what we mean by how that is going to tie into each other is because we want kids to be able to play on the field and not be thinking. So we also wanted to. This ebook is also going to help parents, what I'm saying, understand the game a little bit too, because it's a parents, collab with youth, so you can, help your child. Don't try to out coach the coach, but help your child. You know what I'm saying, when he's at home, because you guys do play a huge responsibility when it comes to the X's and O's and knowledge and the game of life. You know, we ain't gonna even just say football, but the game of life. So, look out for that to be coming here in the next month. So, we'll be letting you know when that drops. Coach, so we're gonna go and jump into the topic. And you have these issues. Can short people get it done? Right now, you know what I'm saying? So, Coach, how tall are you, Coach?
On a good day, I'm about 5'5". I can get to 5'6", 5'7", depending on the shoes I got on.
So, all right, you know what I'm saying. So right now, so it's
Hey,
funny.
God left that out when he was building me. He left the height part out.
So how do we ain't gonna say compensate, but how do you know what I'm saying, especially in the game of sports, how do you know what I'm saying, use that to your advantage? Because we don't want to never talk about the disadvantages because you're already at a disadvantage. You know what I'm saying, talking about average height, what, 6 inches, bruh?
Yeah. Probably about 5-6 inches.
Yeah, so
Right.
it's one of those deals, G, where we ain't gonna talk about it. So the advantages of being, what I'm saying, short, and you know what I'm saying, can you guys get it done? So I'm gonna let you speak on that, Coach.
Well, the thing is that what I learned early is that I had to use my brain, for as the old folks used to say, more than a hat rack. I had to start thinking more. You
What are
know,
you coming over these saying, man?
hey man, when you live in South Georgia, when you grow up in South Georgia, man, you
Oh,
hear
there you go. All right, so we got Coach, we got him on. Hey, Coach. I mean, we done written you off, Coach, because I knew it. Listen, we were going for what we know. You there? You hear us, Coach?
Can
He
you
got
guys
his
hear
mic
me?
on. Yeah, we hear you now. You
Oh,
you
okay.
good?
Hey, good afternoon. I'm sorry. Good morning. I'm sorry to run a little late. I'm trying to get to a 7-on-7 tournament right now with this
I
dude.
feel you. I feel you. We had then moved on. You know what I'm saying. We knew you was in a rush. Your son was getting after it.
Oh, yeah.
So, but I appreciate you coming on, Coach. Man, and one of the things we want to talk about, and we were actually getting into it, was can short people get it done? And you in a situation right now where you're going through the college process with your son, and he happens to be undersized,
Right.
and that is as you know it, Coach Patterson know it, and everybody on what I'm saying in the universe know it. That ain't gonna pass the look test.
Right.
And so he's already at a disadvantage as soon as he walks on the college campus or any school just because he doesn't pass the look test when it comes to height.
That's
And
exactly right.
we want to, pick your brain a little bit and see how you went about the process of, and still going about the process of trying to get your son seen with with him having that disadvantage.
Right. So what we've tried to do, and I'm my brother-in-law, I should say, who went through this process. His son's a little bit bigger, but went through the process nonetheless about, I guess, 4 or 5 years ago, kind of gave us some insight, which I found to be extremely reliable. So we've tried to do more camps on campus versus, these big program type camps where they say, 100 colleges are going to show up and all this kind of stuff. We've tried to go more to either he's a rising senior, so they have junior days, on campus junior days. They have other kind of camps, but they're on the college campus, and the college coaches are the ones that are providing the training or the instruction, and then they do the one-on-ones and stuff like that. That's what we've tried to do. We've tried to do that. We've tried to make sure that we increase our speed, because I think because he's at a disadvantage size-wise, if he can get his speed down to the 4.34, low 4.4s, that at least make them look a little bit closer. And then we've just worked out with good contacts. We have a guy who played, his trainer is a former Jet, 8-year NFL former Jet, cornerback, former Clemson Tiger. So we train with those guys, and then we have another guy that we train with that just have good connections. And that's the avenue we've tried to go.
Hey, coach,
Because
listen. I don't mean to cut you off, but you can always plug those guys in, man, because if they good at what they do, we want to make sure all these athletes around here know them. You know what I'm saying? Get that experience because we don't want no child left behind.
right. Okay. So I've tried to tell all the kids I know about them. We have a relationship, so the cost is a little bit relaxed for us, whereas it may be different for someone else. But nonetheless, those are the things that we're trying to do. And I tell you, we're not the only one. So when I tell my kid he has to be, good in the classroom and working real hard, because if he's not doing it, the other 8 kids are doing it, and some of them are in the same situation, undersized, and so it's an ongoing battle. Every day we're doing it.
So now, saying with him having that disadvantage, and you going to the camps, and I know how camps are, and especially if you go to the wrong camp, they'll just put you at the back of the line. How
Mm-hmm.
do you got, because, and this is one of the things that I try to tell my nephew and every kid I go to the camp, I take the camp is listen, you're gonna have to fight to get in the front of the line
Right.
because you already know once he comes out there, they're gonna look at him, they're gonna look over him.
Right.
How do you get him camp ready?
So with the training we do, that's one thing, but I also tell him to be 100%. You got to go 100% all the time. One camp we went to, he was a distinguished for that reason. It's like, we're gonna send these tapes out, and we're gonna see the guy who's running through the end of the finish line, the guy who's going all the way on the coverage and not letting it go. The guy who's just working his butt off. And I try to tell him that's one way to set yourself apart, because we have to get every little help we can from voices that coaches have seen, from film that coaches will see, and from the connections we have to say, if you give this guy an opportunity, he's going to do all the things you need to do, and he's going to be extremely coachable. So he tries to go real hard every time he goes out there.
So, Coach Howell, let me ask you a question. You right now, you're a business guy, um, and your decisions on what you do for a living is different from me and Coach Patterson. How does
Right.
that transition to what I'm saying, how you teach your son that, and sports as well?
So I tell him he has to be 100%. That's one thing in everything he does. And I say, you know what? You may not make it to the NFL, but if you want to stay close to the sport, there's a number of other ways you can do it, and you can make a really good living at it. I said,
Right,
you
right.
will know, and he will know or have contacted in his 4 years of high school, 3 or 4, 5 kids that's going to make it to the NFL just by relationships that he know already based on his training. I said,
Hmm.
so if you don't make it to the NFL, you can be an agent, you can be a referee, you can do a number of other things. You can work in an NFL office, on an NFL team. You can coach if you want to, so pick up as much as you can from that. So this business of sports is not only on the field, if that makes sense.
I know, I totally get it.
Right.
Coach
And that's
Patterson.
where I try to relate to him.
Let me ask you this, Howard. Why don't other coaches or dads tell their sons the same thing you telling Howard the third? Hello? Did we lose him?
Hey, Doris.
I think we lost him. I can't hear you. You muted, Drew.
Hey,
Coach,
my
you
bad.
muted.
Yeah, He talking to Doris. My bad. We gonna let him talk to Doris real quick because my dog. He got a lot going on. But yeah. So one of the things in this show that we want to do is we want to try to make sure the information that we put out here is educational for parents, and kids that's going through similar situations and adversities through this difficult time because COVID is real and there's a lot of stuff going on, that's causing different scenarios for kids to get into school. And our biggest thing on this show is try to get as many kids as possible to understand the roadmap to, going to school. You back, Coach?
Yeah, I'm back. I'm sorry about. I know it's a bad site on 75 South coming through Atlanta, and I go through it every day. And I knew I was going to drop off, but I'm back now.
No, it's all good. It's all good. So go ahead, Coach Mike. You had your question.
All right. So what I want to know is why don't other coaches and parents tell their sons that it's more avenues to get to the league than just playing on Sundays?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why that's not talked about enough. But it could be systematic too. Whereas at the school where I work at part-time, there's a kid who has never played basketball. You guys may have seen him on ESPN. He was the manager for Pace Academy. They let him play in the last game. He hit a 3-point shot. It was all over ESPN. This kid, that was the only game he played. But I bet you a dime against a dollar that at some point you're going to see him coaching in the NC2A, because while he didn't have the skills to play the game, he was around the game all the time. So he picked up the coaching skills that I think he will translate into a nice job, making a good salary, even if it's not at the NC2A level or the professional level, even at the high school level. And that's what other parents tell their kids. And we need to advise our kids, listen, maybe 2% of the varsity high school players make it to the NFL, maybe less than that. But if you don't make it, there are avenues. And listen, you can do really, really well financially if you don't make it to the NFL on the gridiron. And I'm not talking about being a super agent. I'm talking about, I know I've talked to guys who just get second round and third round guys, and they have 4 or 5 of those guys. They have, a couple $300,000 a year. And sometimes those kids are slotted in. I mean, you're not going to, the first 3 or 4 years, they just slotted in. They're not going to make, you already know what they're going to make, but you're going to get a percentage of that. And you just kind of build your stable of players that way. And we need to communicate that to our kids. We really do.
Definitely, because go ahead, Coach Patterson.
Yeah, I totally agree. I remember when I first got into the high school coaching, we were at a situation that, we had a lot of kids that had the potential to go to the NFL. And I remember, we talked to those kids about, getting to that next level and getting to that next level. And what I don't remember is us talking to the kids about the other avenues to get into the league, or the other avenues to coaching, because if you don't make it to the league, you can still go and be a college coach, and have a good living.
That's exactly right.
Let me interject real quick, and I'm gonna tell you from a poverty mindset, and from what I'm saying, those people standing there. I'm gonna tell you this: like, what we don't understand is, like, when you have a kid like me, say for instance, growing up, I only thought football was the only avenue to get us out of the projects. That's not the only avenue. Mm-hmm. So if we can sit up here and let them and show them different avenues of how they raise how people, with just regular jobs and regular trades have gotten their family out of the projects. And that's the biggest thing, because these kids, a lot of them want to, help mama,
right.
help sisters, mm-hmm. I'm talking about, that's back home. And they get wrapped up in, thinking it's the only way. And it's not, because you got guys like Stephen A. Smith. I'm always going to reiterate that, that's killing it. He just signed a $10 million deal just to talk. and and this is he's literally getting paid doing what we're doing right now.
That's exactly right.
So yeah, so it's one of those deals, man. You're
Right.
right. We have to start expanding our horizons and showing these kids better, and even the parents, showing them better. That is more to life than just, what I'm saying, sports, because there's so much more goes into sports than just the X's and O's on the field.
Exactly right. I'm a big proponent of don't let school get in the way of an education. So take your kids, talk to other people. It's not only in school where you get a good education. You can just think about how much NBA referee or NFL referee makes. Those guys are making $300K a year, and once they get in the league and been there a couple, 3, 4 years, that's a great avenue to say, hey, I can still stay close to the game and still make a really, really good living. And I think it's just exposure. Exposure is the key.
Yes, right.
That's the key, right? That's the key word right there. Exposure. Mm-hmm. So let me ask you this: how do we expose our kids to those different avenues? How do you think we do that?
So I think there's a number of programs out there. The YMCA has a great. If you're a soccer player, and now even lacrosse, if you're not a player but just want to stay close to those games, here in Atlanta, they have canceled varsity games because they don't have enough lacrosse referees. You have to take them and say, hey, I know here in the metro area, especially for soccer, the YMCA gives them like a 3 or 4 day training, then they let them referee the soccer game for the little kids. And then you can get better at it. Sometimes you're doing bigger kids, but you're just a flag person on the sideline, so it's not a lot to go into it. But if we expose them to it, tell them how they can get involved, let them start refereeing Little League basketball, and then can do AAU basketball, which have a tournament almost every weekend. And but early exposure is the way to do it, through the Y, through youth groups that need referees. In metro areas, I know there's a lot of them. So I know in Southwest Florida, I'm absolutely sure you can let your kids see start out in Little League refereeing.
Listen, Coach, you got me. Me and Coach Pastor talks all the time. I mean, I'm all sorry I be cutting people off, but I'm kind of excited, super dope right now. But you got me where like I see this. So we do have leagues here where we start, with flag football and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Now, Coach Patterson, what I'm saying, that is a avenue where we can start helping, the community around here with the referee situation, because the referee situation around here is slack. And if we could start raising them up, even if they play the game, but come out and make a little pocket change and understand the dynamics and, the X's and O's from a referee standpoint, man, we could change the game.
That's right. I went to a basketball game in Southwest Florida, and I bet you the 3 referees that did the game, they were all over 55.
And that's crazy.
Yeah. And you know how fast kids are now getting up and down the court. There's no way they can get to a good position, man. And
listen, they say they got to learn the angles.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And you just think if you can get a group of kids to start at YMCA now, and if you get 10, all 10 is not going to want to do it. But if you get 3 or 4 each year,
yeah,
whatever sport, and you can pull out, and they can do it. They can do really well at it.
Yeah. Coach Mike, you got something?
Yeah, I'm totally down with that, there, man. Because I'll tell you what changed me was I went to Pro Day at South Florida to support Deidre Sinat and Dearness Johnson. Mm-hmm. And I was talking with JC Jackson's agent. And JC had just went through the combine and he killed it. And he was asking me and his dad, he was like, man, how was he able to catch the ball like that? And I told him, I said, well, he played wide receiver in high school for 3 years. Mm-hmm. And then his senior year, he jumped over to DB. And he was like, I didn't know that. And it dawned on me right then, like, you don't have to know everything. And there are other avenues at that point. The guys who are out there scouting, a lot of those guys, they've never played the game, and they had never coached a game. It was just all about the contacts that they knew.
Yeah.
And so this guy here, he's this kid agent, and he don't have a clue about
who
he is and what he done been through. The previous years, the only thing he knew was that he was going to get him in the league. He was going to the league, and somebody was going to cut a check.
Mm-hmm.
That part,
Mm-hmm.
and that's sometimes that's all you need to know. So, Coach, you know what I'm saying, with that word, man, I appreciate you coming on, Coach, and hopefully we get you Sean on in the future. Coach Patterson, leave us off with a word, man, and let's get on up out of here.
All right, so the word for the day is ability. I know our topic was, can short people get it done? And the answer is yes. But you have to make sure that you're giving 100% ability in everything that you're doing to create an advantage for yourself. So sometimes God didn't give us all the tools that we think we should have, but He gave us all the tools that he needed us to have in order to carry out his will. And a lot of it's on ability. What you have is good enough, but you got to do it to 100%. You can't half do it. You got to be 100% and be true to yourself, to your ability.
10-4. Once again, man, thank you fellas for tuning in. Coach, make sure you like and share this when you get a chance. And good luck to your son. And if there's anything that we can do to help him out on his journey to get to where he want to go, let us know.
I sure will. Thank you all for having us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And definitely we want to get him on, because this is a show that we want to create for them so they can come and express their voice. And,
right.
Thank you again. And everybody tune in, like, subscribe, man. We out.
Thank you. Bye-bye.